Welcome back. With these souls from Nazca, we can now afford our 2020 Int and Faith. With 2020, we can talk to Felkin and he'll give us his gear for free, so we're going to Felkin. Particularly, Felkin gives us the Hexer's Hood, which boosts Int and Faith by 1 each, saving us 2 levels. And it also boosts spellcast by 10% rounded up. Because we don't have a ton of attunement, those extra casts are very nice. We're going to be rocking the Hexer's Hood for basically the entire run now. We'll only switch to Sildora Hat after bosses from here on out. Felkin also gives us the Sunset Staff and a Dark Orb, which are part of our secret weapon to take out the Knights before Ivory King. That's going to be very useful later on. And the last thing we get from Felkin is Dark Weapon. Dark Weapon is basically a free resin buff, but a little bit stronger. We're going to be getting quite a bit of mileage out of it. It's very useful. And now that we're getting Dark Weapon, it's time to talk about infusions. Spell buffs like Dark Weapon add 50 points of elemental damage and then boost all of the weapon's elemental damage by 30%. So if we infuse a rapier with Dark, we could get a nice boost when we buff it. But there are a few issues with this idea for us. Well, let me shop with Felkin and then we'll talk about that.
I see.
So friend, talk to him for the stuff. Buy Dark Orb, we'll save that for later, and Dark Weapon. Here we are. Go ahead and shoot this moth while we're here. Put on that hood. We're going to keep this on basically forever now. And yeah. We'll tune that new spell right away. And now we're moving on. Next up is Flexile because we want Yearn. Right, yeah, problem with infusions. First, infusions take away some physical base damage and a ton of physical scaling. That doesn't really work well for our build. We have a lot of dex, which we need for the bow anyway, but not a ton of dark bonus. So infusion with dark doesn't really play to our strengths. Our rapier would generally be weaker except against enemies that are weak to dark or resistant to physical damage. We really need to keep it buffed like all the time for it to be good. And that's kind of inconvenient. Second, we're only going to use this rapier for a handful more bosses before we upgrade to Ricards. We're going to use it for Flexile, 3 Rottens, Dragon Riders, and Freya. With our build, a Dark Infusion with the spell buff might be marginally better against Flexile and Dragon Riders, but it'd be a significant nerf against Rotten and Freya because they resist Dark. So infusing now is kind of a waste of a Dark Knight Stone, and it's actually going to hurt us more than it helps. So no infusions, we'll just keep it normal, standard. And that'll allow us to use a fire resin against Freya, which is pretty nice. Wait for stamina for the 3rd shot. Kill this guy. And we're moving on. We will loot a few more things on the way down. We're still in powering up mode. We want all the souls we can get. That's a 2k soul. That's the most valuable thing over here. But yeah, we're going to Flexile because we have enough int for Yearn now, so that's a very high priority. Yearn is a very useful spell. Gonna stop by this guy first for some easy souls. Killing this guy gives quite a few, and the chest behind him gives quite a few more. Thank you. Almost. What's that? Over 3,600 just for this little corner. Not bad. And we're about to see Gavlan, so we can clean up our inventory and sell a whole bunch of that stuff we've been collecting. So we'll get to cash that in right away. Wharf should be very easy in this run. We have a very strong bow. We'll be able to one-shot everything. We will need a headshot for the little hollows, but that's not too hard to do. We can one-shot the sailors with a body shot. It's very, very nice. So the bow is going to carry us through. There should be virtually no risk here until we get to the boss. We'll start by lighting the bonfire because we will need it for a torch to fend off the Darkstalkers. We're going to clear out the first few enemies. We'll just snipe them all from range. go for a headshot on this hollow here. Boom. See if we can get a headshot on this guy too. Got it. Nice. One shot the dog. Easy. One shot both these sailors. Also easy. Again, don't need a headshot for the sailors. They just die. Now we're ready our final alluring skull for the run to Gavlan, and our torch to keep the dark stalkers at bay. And this is basically the same as any other run. We're going to run through here, toss a skull to help get up the stairs. Just keep running. This dog here always does this attack, just like that. Just run past him. Wouldn't be a problem. Just keep moving and we should be fine. Don't run out of stamina. Kind of hug the wall here to keep out of view of the archer below, for as long as you can. So we get a little extra breathing room to drop down here. And if you're not sure about that, if you're not comfortable with that, you should probably equip Cat Ring first. That might help. Now we'll go ring the bell. Then we'll talk to Gavlan. Snipe these two. And archer down here. Ring the bell. There we go. Now we talk to Gavlan. Alright, let's see what we get here. We'll buy his poison arrows, because poison arrows are always nice to have. Now let's see, we're starting with almost 31,000 souls. Well, let's sell all this junk we've been collecting. Just don't sell something important. This gets very rote, very automatic after you've done it a few times, but you don't want to autopilot this too much. If you sell something you need, you can't take it back. So take this carefully the first few times and you'll get used to it. Yeah, clean out all this junk, make our equips easier. This is faster than discarding generally, and you get money for it. Okay, don't sell the stone ring. Don't sell blue stone. We can sell the +0. Sell the ring of the evil eye. Don't sell cat ring. Don't sell restoration. We don't need effigies yet. By the time we need them, we'll get more. Don't need poison moss. You could keep these for some already started setups, but Estus works too. I'm just gonna sell it. Okay. Don't need poison resins. We have much better ways to inflict poison when we want to. Don't need any more Estus. Don't need bone dust. Keep the spices. These are gonna be very valuable later. Smooth stones. We do want some twinkling for later, but we don't actually need it yet. We're going to find plenty by the time we do need it, so I'm going to sell these two because 3,000 souls is pretty good right now. And the Petrified Dragon Bone we don't need. So, there we go. And what's that? We got over 30,000 souls for that. Pretty good deal. Alright, and now I'm going to equip Cat Ring for this fall. We've already sniped the archer, so there's not really any threat here. Just don't aggro the shadows over there. You should be fine. And head over to this room for a free large shard. You could technically skip this. We have enough money now, but it's 2,500 souls worth. That's pretty good. Also 3 firebombs in this chest, which again we also don't really need, but it's nice to have. 3 firebombs. Always good. Moving on. So just don't aggro the shadows. Just gonna run through here. We're heading to Carhillion for Yearn. So we're gonna snipe this guy. Boom, headshot. And this guy. Down he goes. Could kill this guy as well, but he's not really in our way. Same with this dude. As long as we don't get near him, he's not gonna aggro. So we can just ignore him. Just stay away from him and you're fine. I'm gonna talk to Carhillion. Hello, friend. As long as you reach this screen here, you're done. He'll go to Majula. But we can buy from him now, so we might as well, so we don't have to buy from him later. I want a copy of Soul Arrow. We'll use Soul Arrow to destroy some poison or petrified spitting statues on the way to Gank Squad. And Yearn. Yearn is a very, very nice. We're gonna get a lot of use out of that. And now we go to Flexile while we're here. We don't want to have to go through Wharf again. And we're ready for this. Buff with Dark Weapon, and let's go. Put this ring back on now, might as well. Don't need cat ring anymore right now. Flexile should be fairly straightforward. We have a lot of damage. Still need to be a little careful. You can fight him sword side or mace side, whichever you prefer. Mace side is generally a little easier, but the combos are less predictable, so it can be hard to know when to go in for damage. Sword side is a little scarier, but very predictable combos. So, pros and cons. I usually prefer sword side, but either way works. Another thing to note in this arena, hello friend, the water slows down our movement, but it doesn't really stop the movement of rolling attacks. So you can still cover a lot of distance with a rolling attack, even in the water. That can be really good to close the gap on it. Anyway, Flexile's down, and now we're heading to Bastille. Next stop is Strayed. Do not forget the Pyromancy Flame here. It's very important. We don't want to have to come back for this, and this is the only Pyro Flame we can get. And we're going to need this later. It's very important. Very valuable for a few bosses. Okay. And that's it. Next split.